grab your popcorn, get your drinks, whatever you need, because if you're going to wait till the end of this video, you're going to have to wait a while. I don't know how long this is going to be. Maybe it won't be long after all, but I have a good feeling that I'm going to ramble on and just get everything out that I need to get out, so prepare yourselves. This could be a long one. How's it going, everyone? This is Childhood DVD Fan here, and I am back with another DVD rant. I might start doing this, as a more daily occurrence to the channel. So if you want to see that, let me see some love and hit that like button. Let's see if we can get 10 likes on this video. Anyways, so as far as Drake and Josh is concerned, most people who have seen Drake and Josh and have seen all the episodes, if you haven't seen all of the episodes, I'm sorry, but you don't hold any grounds to make this decision. But me, Jeremy, we've seen everything. And universally with most Drake and Josh fans, Theater Thug is their least favorite episode. I know that's Jeremy's least favorite episode. I will definitely say that it is not one of my favorites. It's certainly not the worst one, in my opinion. In my opinion, the one I can't stand the most is Little Diva. There's nothing that came out of Little Diva at all. That was the worst episode in the entire series, in my opinion. At least with Theater Thug, you had a couple memorable lines. Woj, take it easy, man. Stuff like that. But I don't remember really hardly anything memorable with Little Diva. And another one that might surprise you is I always forget this episode, but honestly, I don't remember anything memorable coming out of My Dinner with Bobo either. That one was just not a good episode. Probably the worst season 4 episode, in my opinion. Anyways, in front of me, we have Zoey 101. As you guys know, Zoey 101 is my all-time favorite live-action Nickelodeon show. And I've even said in the past that I will continue to say that most of season 4 was extremely lackluster. This is by far the worst season in Zoey 101. They really had decline in this season. There were a lot of really bad episodes and ones that were not very memorable. Of course, the most memorable moment came out of this season, which is why season 4, the DVD, this is my all-time favorite, because obviously I think we all know why. But anyways, this rant video is based on what I personally feel is the worst Zoey 101 episode of all time. And that is Rumor of Love, season 4, episode 4. The funny thing about that episode is that is one of the few Zoey 101 episodes available in high definition. For some reason, they were HD on my phone when I bought them from the Apple Store, but they converted them to standard definition. I don't know why, but they're still in widescreen. But with my Xbox, I can at least have them in high definition, even though there's a little bit of a pixel mess. But it is what it is. I kind of can't control that one. But my goodness, where do I even begin with Rumor of Love? All right, so let me start off with a little bit of background here. The final episode in season 3 was Goodbye Zoey. Now, in that episode, Zoey is offered the chance to go to Covington, which is a boarding school in London, England, and she decides to take it, after consideration and everything. And Chase right here thinks that Zoey made this decision without going to him and asking how he felt about it. So he ignores her, and that's my charger you guys just saw. He ignores her and, kind of blows her off and everything, and kind of just, he wasn't there to say goodbye because he's pissed off because he's misinformed, thinking that, Zoey hadn't told him yet. Which in reality, Chase hears it from Mark Del Figolo first before Zoey has a chance to get to him. And when she does have a chance to get to him, Chase already found out before Zoey got to him. And so he blows her off. And so, Zoey goes to Covington, and, Chases, immediately just regrets doing it after, Michael tells him that Zoey was going to go tell him about it and ask his opinion on it. So he regrets it, and he ends up talking his parents into going to Covington, because obviously we all know that Chase has loved Zoey since the first episode, and so he wanted to be with her. And Zoey comes back after finding out that, through, webcam, when, Chase is trying to replace Zoey with a lookalike who's not like Zoey at all. And so Michael and Logan confront Chase about it. And, Chase ends up fighting Logan when Logan rips off the giraffe head that Zoey gave him. And, they lock him in the room. Michael and Logan, they lock Chase in the room till he admits, his true feelings. And there was a webcam, and Zoey just happened to see what had happened because they accidentally turned the webcam on. Michael did without realizing it. So Zoey comes back to PCA because she's going to explore the possibility, because of her finally finding out accidentally that Chase is in love with her. So she comes back to explore that whole little train thing. Now, the reason why I'm telling you guys all of this is why it leads to why Rumor of Love is so terrible. So Chase ends up, like I said, going to Covington, and Zoey's back at PCA. Chase can't come back for a semester, so he's stuck in England. And they try dating online, but it doesn't end up working out. Now, the real life reason why that whole thing was even, why that whole thing even happened with Zoey gone and then her coming back and Chase going and him being gone, in reality, Sean Flynn, who played Chase, actually left Zoey 101 in season 4 to go back to real school. Okay, PCA obviously was a fictional boarding school for a television show, but Sean, because I watched so many episodes of Zoey 101 recently, Sean decided to really go to real life school, so they had to find a way to write him off the show, and obviously they can do that if they can explain to the audience that Chase has to be stuck in England for a semester because his parents told him he has no choice. So that's a way to write Sean Flynn, who plays Chase Matthews, off of season 4. And so the reason why all of that is even being talked about is because they bring in, obviously, a new character to replace, keyword replace, or at least fill in for Sean Flynn when he left, and that happened to be Austin Butler, who played James Garrett in Zoey 101 season 4. So here comes James Garrett. The requirement at PCA is that you have to have at least 3 roommates per room. That's just how things are at PCA. 3 guys in one room, 3 girls in one room. That's just how it is. And obviously when Chase leaves, that means it's only Michael and Logan. So that's 2 people instead of 3. So they have to have a new roommate, obviously. And, Michael and Logan try to do everything they can. They try to trick the housing lady. They try to do everything they can to prevent getting another roommate, because they don't want another roommate. But, obviously the plan fails and everything, so they end up getting a new roommate, who is James Garrett. And, the whole time Michael and Logan are just, had this wrong impression of him because they looked him up online and they saw all these older pictures of him when he was younger. So they were completely just misunderstood about who James Garrett was at that point. So they're not happy with it. And then once James Garrett is revealed, once Michael and Logan figure out that, James Garrett's not as goofy looking as they think he once was, it becomes a major problem for Logan. Because Logan, as we all know throughout the series, is very self-egotistical. He's full of himself. He can't stand it when anyone else has the spotlight other than himself. He's a rich, kid with all this money from his, rich father who's a TV and movie producer. So, when James Garrett comes into PCA, all the girls are just, swooning over him, including Zoey, and Quinn and Lola. I mean, but especially Zoey, they're all into him. All the girls are into, James Garrett. So Logan obviously hates this, and even Michael calls him out, about it. Michael's like, "What, are you afraid of competition?" And Logan comes up with an excuse to not admit to the truth. So Logan hates it because all the attentions, not that really a lot of people gave Logan a lot of attention to begin with, but he just hates the idea that he can visibly see someone else getting all the attention he thinks he deserves. So in the end, Logan decides to make up a little rumor that Zoey and Chase are going out, and the whole school is just kind of buzzing over it and stuff like that. So finally it was Lola and Quinn who told Zoey about the rumor and everything. Zoey goes to look for James to clarify that she wasn't the one who started that rumor. And then all the guys are congratulating him, because I do the same thing if I was them. If anybody got Jamie Lynn Spears, good fucking lord. But anyways, they finally meet each other, and they're like, Zoe's like, "Hey, it wasn't me who did it." James doesn't know either. James is brand new, so you got to keep in mind he doesn't know a lot of people there. Michael and Logan just were not nice to James, but ultimately Michael has a change of heart when James decides to leave the room and go into a room by himself, and Michael starts to really change his mind, because there's those kind of people where, like, when they're by themselves they're great, but when they get with other people, they just become kind of douchebaggy. But when they're by themselves, they're a lot better than when they're with, kind of like real life I won't be getting into. But anyways, so Michael comes to James, apologizes and everything, and then James is like, you got any idea how this rumor got started? And Michael says it was Logan. So then James goes and talks to Zoey, Lola, and Quinn about it. What do we do? And this is where it starts to get my bubble just really getting hot. So they talk about what they're gonna do. How are they gonna deal with it? Because the girl's finding out that it was Logan who started the rumor. James made the suggestion that they should go to Logan, and Zoey doesn't think that's a good idea, because she doesn't think that he'll admit that he did that. So they ultimately decide that and this is where it starts to get bullshitty. So they ultimately decide, sorry, you see my feet. Anyways, so they ultimately decide to go get Jeremiah Trotman, and the rest of the PCA camera crew and lighting crew and all this other bullshit. And they happen to catch Logan when he's in the shower, taking a shower. So they burst in and they blast him on their PCA News television, confronting him about the fact that he was the one who made the rumor. And, obviously, it's embarrassing for Logan, because he's, basically naked with a curtain, covering his privates and on, the PCA News channel. And so they give Logan an ultimatum. He can either admit that he was the one who started the rumor, or they can pull the curtain and expose his private parts. Yeah. Well, he was given those two choices. And then finally, right before they're about to move the curtain, he finally pops his head out. He admits that he was the one who started the rumor. Although, James has to be a douchebag and flush the toilet, because when someone flushes the toilet at PCA, it gets the hot water really hot. And so, they embarrass Logan. They humiliate him. I mean, Logan was the one who made the rumor up, but they ultimately made him look like an idiot in front of everyone else. Oh boy. This next part. This is the part that even as a kid, I was so fucking mad at. I still, to this day, when I watch this episode, I still get mad about it. And I know it's all storyline and everything, but it let's say, it was real, whatever. If this happened in real life, I'd be pissed if I was on the other end. This is the part where I hate this part. I hate this part. And there are not many episodes of Zoey 101 I hate. This is one of them I cannot stand. So then an hour or two later, Zoey and James are outside, and they're walking and they're talking, about what classes they're going to have together. And then they kiss, and become boyfriend and girlfriend in the same episode. So an hour or two before then, you go through all that trouble to get Jeremiah Trotman and the PCA crews and all that to humiliate Logan and embarrass him and make him admit that they're not an item. And then an hour or two later, you become an item. So basically, you embarrass the guy for no fucking good reason at all. And you humiliate him and make him admit that they're not an item. And then an hour or two later, you become an item on the same fucking day? That part always got my bubble bursting. I still cannot stand that episode. I still hate that episode. And you know what's funny? Cregan Dow, who played Jeremiah Trotman, the PCA news anchor on Zoey 101, I told him about that. I'm like, are you kidding me? Because they did I think Cregan put up a video of that episode or whatever. And I said, they go through all that trouble to get you and the rest of the PCA crew and all this to, humiliate and embarrass Logan in front of the whole school, basically on their PCA news channel. And then an hour or two later, they become an item. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And he replied back that he was laughing his ass off. He was like, man, that's just how it was, it just, oh my God, and we never, ever, ever see what Logan's reaction is, because I'm sure, if we go storyline wise, I'd be pissed if I find out, oh, I was almost going to have my dick exposed in front of everyone, and then an hour or two later, I find out that they become an item. I would have been pissed off. So we never see Logan's reaction to finding out that they became an item an hour or two later after they embarrassed and humiliated him in front of everyone. The next episode, ironically enough, is Anger Management, which deals with Logan, with all of his anger issues, primarily bullying Zoey's younger brother and all this other stuff. But none of that episode revolves around his reaction, or what should be his pissed off reaction to being humiliated in front of the entire PCA school for something that, ultimately he did that wasn't that bad, because they ended up actually becoming an item. So we never see Logan's reaction. We never know what it'll be. It'll all be speculation to what Logan thought when he found out that Zoey and James legitimately became an item an hour or two after embarrassing him in front of everyone. So, man, oh man, I just needed to get that out of my system. I still cannot fucking stand that episode. And there's a lot of... let me show you guys these episodes. I mean, this is the worst season of Zoey 101. They really took a huge drop in this season. Honestly, I've been watching a lot of season 2 and 3, and I'm starting to understand why a lot of people like season 2 better. And there are some times where, there's a slight thought in my mind that season 2 was better. Although season 3 for me will always be my favorite. But seasons 3 and 2 were amazing. Season 1 was good, but everyone was so young. I mean, there were a lot of iconic things, but everyone was so young in season 1. And then in season 4, it just completely fell apart. So you had Trading Places, that's a good episode. I actually will say that is a good episode of season 4. You have Fake Roommate. It is what it is. Alone at PCA, you deal with a guy that's an old janitor, a rival of Dean Rivers, and all this other bullshit. It's just, Rumor of Love, which I can't stand. Anger Management, which has nothing to do with what happened in the previous episode. Quinn misses the mark. I mean, I like Quinn and Mark's relationship, but I don't think they really needed an episode related to them. You have Walkathon, which is terrible because, they think they owe all this money, and Zoey and Dustin and Lola running away from this big fat fuck. You have Vince's Back, which, okay, because if you remember in season 3, Vince Blake beats up Logan Reese, well, along with his other football mates, Logan Reese, Chase Matthews, Michael Barrett, and Mark Del Figolo, because Chase secretly found out that Vince was cheating on his tests and taking pictures of the answers, and Chase exposed that, and there was this football tournament championship, football championship thing, and Chase ruined it basically for, Vince and everyone else, because he ended up getting suspended for it. So PCA, who knows if they ever won that championship without Vince Blake being the quarterback, we'll never know. But after a while, Vince was, allowed back, and just meh. You have dinner for too many, which we some of the good things that came out of this season were obviously the kiss, the final kiss. I mean, that was the best moment in the whole series. And then, Quinn and Logan's relationship, which I wasn't as crazy for that relationship as I was with Zoey and Chase, because that had been years in the making when we finally got our payoff. But Logan and sorry, I've been talking for a while. Logan and Quinn's relationship, though, was pretty good, though. It wasn't as crazy as some people were for that relationship, but I still liked it. So they're eating at this restaurant, and then it ends up coincidentally that Zoey and Chase were gonna have dinner there as well the same night, which because that always happens in real life. But anyways, obviously Logan and Quinn have been keeping their relationship a secret from everyone, which is exposed until the final episode. So that, it just gets ugly from there. Coffee cart ban. Yeah, coffee's banned from PCA for a while. So that's all you need to know about that episode. Roller coaster. Michael's scared of roller coasters. He has to overcome his fear and the laughter from everyone else, basically. And then obviously the best episode in the whole series, the final payoff when finally Zoey and Chase kiss. Not once, but twice. So we got a lot more than we thought we would in one episode. Everything had built up to that moment. I mean, this is the best DVD because of that moment, but when I look back at this season, I do not enjoy a lot of the episodes. And something else, this is minor, but Amazon, Sean Flynn was barely in season 4. He was in 2 episodes. Did he really need to be on the cover? Did he really need to be on the disc artwork? You couldn't have had someone else. Like, he's only in 2 episodes in season 4. He's barely there. He starts out season 4, then he leaves, and he comes back for the finale. And something that, I'll just mention, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Sean Flynn had cut his hair. At least, I think his hair was still there, the bushy hair, whatever, big hair for the Trading Places episode. But I know for a fact that Sean had cut his hair. And when he came back for that final episode of Zoey 101 the final episode that should have been, PCA Confidential, that whole fucking shenanigan. But anyways, Sean Flynn had to wear a wig. He had to wear a wig in the final episode of Zoey 101 when he did that kiss with Jamie Lynn Spears. So yeah, I needed to get this rant out of my system. The best episode of Zoey 101 is Chasing Zoey, but you gotta watch, you can't just watch that episode because you won't understand all the backstories, all the times when, it was right there for Zoey to either find out that Chase loved her or for them to get together, for something to just fuck it up. So in order to really have an emotional attachment to that final episode, you have to watch the whole series. The whole series is about 66 episodes long. You can shoot through the whole series probably in a few days. I mean, if of course you have the whole day to watch the episodes. But anyways, this is still a DVD that you can get on Amazon for $15 now. Amazon ran out of their manufacturing for Volume 2 of Season 3 of Zoey 101, because if you remember from my other videos, they have these pink DVDs that has a Volume 1 and Volume 2, because Season 3 was so long, so many episodes, they couldn't fit them on 3 discs, so they had to make it 5-disc set in 2 different sets. I guess, because Amazon, made them available to people, when you would search, 5 months ago for Zoey 101 DVD, I had to really dig through to find that. But once it became apparent with the basic search, everyone probably bought the DVD, so they're out of print for right now. Volume 2, if you want Volume 1, you might want to get it right now, because I don't know, how long Amazon's going to be out of those DVDs for, or if they're even going to come back. I, luckily, was smart enough to buy all 4 seasons, even the one that wasn't manufactured by Amazon, Season 1. I have backup copies. So God forbid something happened. I mean, they are the DVD-R format. They're not the originals, which suck. But I have a backup in case anything happens. But Season 4 is still available on Amazon. You can get it for $15. But anyways, I had to get that rant out of my system. And wow, I am out of breath. This is Childhood DVD Fan. So long, everyone.